last lesson, you're doing reps so that you have the skills to be able to do actual problems. Maths is most useful when you can use it to solve real-world problems, but Year 10 is the borderline where the maths is advanced enough to do anything useful. It's only if I can advance you enough to go ahead, or if you do harder maths next year, you'll see that this is a true statement. So because of this, you need to practice doing worded problems. So the assumption is that if you've done those reps, you can apply those reps that you've done in previous exercises to problems that are not just written out. So what are the steps that you should apply for solving worded problems? Here they are. I suggest that you get that down, but it's up to you. Step 1, identify the unknown. Often your question tells you what you should make the unknown. And assign it a variable. X is perfectly fine. Get that first one down. So step 1 of solving worded problems, decide what the variable should be. Often the question will tell you what the variable should be. You'll see that when you start doing some of the problems. What is step 2? You need to translate the worded situation into a maths equation. Why? Because your reps have just been plain maths. So some tips for how to translate the words into maths. If you see the words like sum, total, make, that probably means adding. If you see difference or space between, that usually means subtraction. Product or lots of, that probably means multiplication. And please remember, what does division tell you? It tells you how many times the bottom number fits into the top one in a fraction. So how many of something fits into something else. So step 2, and you get that down, please, if you'd like. What is step 3? Solve the equation using prior techniques. What are those prior techniques? What are we doing week 1? Those are your prior techniques. Solve the equation using prior techniques. Same operation, both sides, to get rid of everything in reverse BEDMAS order. Step 4, write your answer in a sentence. That's worth a mark. And step 5 is only if you've got time. Use your answer that you think it is, plug it back into the question and see if it agrees. Get the box down. That is how you solve worded problems. We'll do an example that you can see below. The sum of 3 consecutive even integers is 132. Find the smallest of the integers. Is this a situation where the question tells you what the smallest should be, or what the variable should be?
Yeah.
Is it asking you to find the smallest of the integers? That's what you should make x. So how do we proceed to work that out? I will decide x equals the smallest integer. Now I need to clear up, because it's not just you. Every year, some people don't know what an integer is. If I say an integer, what do I actually mean? A whole number. Good. It can be positive or negative, but it has to be whole. We're not talking fractions or anything. Okay? So because we know we're talking about whole numbers, and I've said that x is the smallest, and these numbers are even, and they're consecutive. What do I mean by consecutive? Someone else? In order. So 2, 4, 6, 8. They're consecutive. I don't know what the integers are, so I can't write 2, 4, 6, 8. But if I know the smallest integer is x, how much bigger is the next even integer going to be? Plus? Good. So it's going to be x, and based on the information that we did in the steps, that word is key. Sum. What operation in maths is the sum? Addition. So I'm adding the smallest integer plus the next even integer. Do you agree with that? The next even integer, whatever it is going to be 2 bigger than the first one. I don't know what it is, but I know it's 2 bigger. What's the third consecutive integer going to be in relation to x? Is it still going to be x plus 2? X plus 2 is the same number. It's going to be? Good. The sum of 3 consecutive, how do I know it's consecutive? Because even numbers go up in 2 each time. 3 consecutive integers is what? What does the question say? Good. Do you see how we translated words into numbers now? Does this look like something we did on the Wednesday? Do I have brackets there? Is there a number in front of these brackets? So there's no real expansion. I just ignore it. I can literally write this x plus. There is nothing more I can do in that. So I can ignore the brackets now. X plus 2. Is there anything I can do with x plus 4? So you just remove them. Equals 132. How many x's do I have on the left-hand side? 3. I have 3 x's. How many numbers do I have there? 2 and 4 is? Does this look like something familiar? How do I get rid of the plus 6? Minus 6 from both sides. 3x is going to be 132, 126, is it? What's the 3 doing to x? What's the opposite of multiplying by 3? That's going to cancel. X is going to be 3's into 12 is 4. 42. We have an answer. Let's pretend that took a long time in your test and you don't have time to go back and check it. You would leave it like that. But we've got time to check it. Oh, and also, I'm missing something. Have I done step 4 yet? No? Therefore, smallest integer is 42. I'm going to do in red the checking process. Your little flex to make sure that you're going to get 100% in your test. If you have the time, check the solution satisfies the original scenario. So if my smallest number is 42, what's the next even number after 42? What's the next even number after that? 46, 44, 42, cross that out, 6, 10, 12, 1, 4 times 3, 12, 13. Is that a true statement? You can check whether you're going to get 100% for your test if it all agrees.